2018 Mercedes-Benz E400 4MATIC Coupe. Although they share a basic architecture, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class Coupe has an entirely different spirit than its C-Class sedan counterpart. Going beyond the simple removal of a pair of doors and B-pillars, the E400 Coupe's elegant, airy ambience makes it the perfect accomplice for both nights on the town and long Sunday drives. These in addition to its core competence as an indulgent transportation device. That the rear compartment is large enough for a pair of full-grown adults to sit comfortably is a welcome bonus. Personal luxury. Sharing exactly 0 body panels with its 4-door counterpart, the E-Class Coupe is shorter by 2.6 inches in wheelbase and 3.8 inches overall, and it presents a sophisticated silhouette. Even though much of the interior is straight-up E-Class fare, the wide swing of the long doors evokes a modern, Teutonic version of the personal luxury concept that Detroit and its Madison Avenue counterparts spun up more than half a century ago. Thankfully, you won't find any button-tufted velour or plywood here. From the standard leather upholstery, saddle brown and black in our test car, to the $1,300 black piano lacquer wood trim, and from the 2-door specific air vents to the $1,050 heated steering wheel and armrests, the E400's cabin caught its passengers in an environment of exclusivity. The task of propelling this sybaritic vessel falls to Benz's twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter V6, 9-speed automatic transmission, and 4MATIC all-wheel drive, the last item representing a $2,500 upcharge over the rear-drive model. Producing 329 horsepower and 354 pounds-to-foot of torque, the Turbo 6 had little trouble moving the 4,314-pound car at a pace becoming of a dignified coupe. Mercedes-Benz's familiar dynamic select system is on hand to tailor the response of the throttle, transmission, and suspension, when equipped with optional air springs, to different driving environments or simply to the driver's tastes. We found that Sport mode does a fine job of balancing ride and performance for most situations, while Comfort offers lower shift points and smooths out harsh road imperfections on long highway slogs. As for the Eco and Sport Plus modes, the first is a self-explanatory bore, while the second puts an even sharper edge on the car's dynamic settings for maximum fun at the expense of a harsher ride and more engine noise due to higher shift points. Comparisons are dubious. At the test track, the E400 Coupe completed the 0 to 60 mph run in 5 seconds flat and punted itself through the quarter mile in 13.6 seconds at 104 mph, placing that in the context of the Benz's competitors is a bit of a challenge. With the recent spate of slinky 4 doors corrupting the traditional definition of coupe and the ranks of genuine mid-size luxury 2 doors thinning, we have to cast our nets a little wider. Looking slightly down market, we have the Audi A5 Coupe with a turbocharged 252 horsepower 2.0-liter inline-4 and a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic, which posted identical times in both measures. Indirectly across the aisle, we have the Audi A7, a 4-door hatchback that parallels the A400 Coupe in terms of its all-wheel drive layout and its engine's nearly identical 333 horsepower from a forced induction 3.0-liter V6, if not door count. The A7 hits the 60 mph mark in just 4.7 seconds and squeaks past the E400 in the quarter mile at 13.4 seconds at 105 mph, with BMW's 6 Series Coupe no longer sold in the US market. The only model in Munich's canon that comes close to the price and mission of the E400 Coupe is the 640i convertible, which in our last test clocked in at 4.9 and 13.6 seconds. Beating the E400 by a tenth to 60 mph and matching it in the quarter mile. Moving to the skid pad, we pushed the E400 on its Michelin Primacy 3 ZP tires, 245/40R19 front, 275/35R19 rear, to the limit, noting plenty of understeer on the way to recording 0.90 grams of grip. Initial turn-in is precise and the steering response direct, but feedback remains missing in action. Braking surpassed expectations, with the E400's 156-foot stopping distance from 70 miles per hour shaving 5 feet from the 161 feet required by the Mercedes-AMG E43 sedan. The pedal is firm, and we experienced no fade under repeated stops. But again, performing feats of dynamic heroism is not this car's mission statement. Its waft game is strong, and the entire chassis displays more than a hint of that old-school, resolute but cultured Benz personality. Even though the tiny rear quarter windows are fixed, opening the rest of the windows and piloting the E400 coupe through the natural tapestry of a brisk autumn day produces a euphoria so intense it should require a prescription. The price of luxury. At this point you might think, man, that's a lot of refined personal luxury for about $65,000, and you'd be right. Unfortunately, the value proposition begins to diminish when you stack on the goodies. Our test examples fetching Lunar Blue metallic paint added a reasonable $720, and the AMG trim package, body styling accents and metal trimmed pedals, is $2,500. The car also had a set of 19-inch AMG split 5-spoke wheels, a bargain at $500, as are the rear side airbags for $420, even if Mercedes-Benz of yore used to make a point about including all of its safety technology as standard. For $950, the massaging multi-contour seats ratcheted up the hedonism factor, although we think the $450 additional cost of the heating and ventilation functions should be included, since few buyers are likely to spring for the decadent massage feature but forgo heating and ventilation. The tour through the list of extras on our test car culminates with a pair of big-ticket items, the sonically impressive $5,400 Burmester 3D audio system, 23 speakers, 25 amplifier channels, 1,450 total watts, and the $10,200 Premium 3 package, which bundles together all of the mod cons that buyers have come to expect in this class: 12.3-inch instrument cluster screen, a head-up display, surround view camera, wireless device charging with near-field pairing, LED headlamps, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, parking assist, and more. With all these options, the $62,395 base MSRP balloons to $87,785. If you're getting the idea that the E400 coupe has carved out a pretty special niche for itself, you're paying attention. Buyers who prioritize performance above all might make a case for the smaller, faster Cadillac ATS-V coupe, but that rear-drive car is surgical steel cloaked in John Varvatos duds. The E400 coupe is a Boker pocket knife in Harris weed. With few natural competitors in the wild, the E400 coupe's toughest competition comes from within, the E-Class Cabriolet. It's up to you to decide how much wine you want with your personal luxury.
The 2017 Kia Optima plug-in hybrid. The 2017 Kia Optima FAV adds plug-in capability and DEV-only operation to the Optima hybrid's already well-rounded attributes and agreeable personality. That said, its familiar shape does get a few touches shared with the Optima hybrid that are aimed at reducing drag, a slightly redesigned, model-specific front fascia with active grille shutters that close at speed, a reshaped rear bumper with a diffuser that shrouds the exhaust tip, and a more aerodynamic wheel design. Things take a similar tack beneath the skin, the Optima FAV sharing its 154 horsepower, direct-injected 2.0-liter inline-4 and 6-speed automatic transmission with the conventional hybrid. To maximize the efficiency of the gasoline engine in this application, however, Kia swapped in a high-voltage electric oil pump to replace the two, one mechanical pump and one low-voltage electrically driven pump, units used in the hybrid. Cooling for the plug-in's transmission is by means of a liquid-to-air heat exchanger. Undercover electrons. We appreciate how deftly the hybrid powertrain sorts out the particulars of meshing internal combustion with an AC motor. Part of this credit goes to Kia's decision to use a 6-speed automatic transmission teamed with the electric motor, supplanting a traditional torque converter. Although this setup goes against the prevailing industry practice of employing a 2-motor CVT, or power split transaxle, for hybrid powertrains, the 6-speed imparts a welcome sense of familiarity to the hybrid driving experience by downshifting perceptibly under heavy acceleration. At the test track, the PHEV performed virtually identically to the Optima hybrid. An 8.0-second 0 to 60 mph run in a 16.2-second quarter-mile time put it just 0.1 second behind its plugless and lighter hybrid sibling. The plug-in model also registered 0.80 grams of grip on the skid pad and took 185 feet to reach a stop from 70 mph, neither of which have us extolling its dynamic virtues, but the 215/55 R17 Cumho Solus DA31 Eco tires at least give plenty of warning via understeer before push comes to wreck. Few details of what's happening at the road surface travel upstream through the synthetic feeling steering, but responses to inputs at least are linear. Special mention goes to an improved regenerative braking system that reaps a 10% gain in energy recovery by refining the collaboration between the hybrid control unit and the brake actuation. Although this may sound like a recipe for dull and schizophrenic brake pedal feel, it manages to work reasonably transparently. The price of efficiency. Unlike the standard hybrid, which comes in a base version as well as X-Trim, the PHEV is sold exclusively as an X. X resides between LX and SX in the optimal hierarchy. With the base price of $36,105, the plug-in hybrid requires a not insubstantial $9,215 premium over the $26,890 asked for the base Optima hybrid and $4,220 more than the $31,885 hybrid X. As of this writing, however, the Optima PHEV was still eligible for a $4,919 federal tax credit, which brings its price right in line with that of the Hybrid X. Additional state incentives may be available. Besides the aforementioned powertrain upgrades and exterior streamlining, the PHEV also has an instrument cluster display detailing powertrain operations and energy usage, plus an enriched set of UVO infotainment features, not to mention the plug-in capability. Connecting one end of the cable to the single port in the Optima's left front fender and the other to a standard 120-volt household outlet fully charges the battery pack in less than 9 hours, hooking up to a 240-volt, level 2, source cuts that time to less than 3. As for the UVO telematics, along with the requisite Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, the PHEV adds LTE wireless connectivity that communicates directly with the car via the UVO smartphone app to perform remote functions including start, stop, reconditioning of the cabin temperature, and lock, unlock. Also included in the app are Kia's My Car Zone features, including curfew, speed alerts, and geofencing capabilities, which ought to help helicopter parents keep tabs on their offspring. A charging station locator and the ability to check your vehicle's charge status and scheduled charging sessions are provided as well. The most relevant number for the plug-in are its fuel economy figures, however. EPA rated at a combined 40 miles per gallon, our optimal hybrid returned 40 mph overall with the help of some electrons and 44 mph in our 75 mile/hour highway test. Those are respectable figures, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that a plugless 2018 Camry hybrid matched them. As previously stated, we did manage to get 27 miles of travel in EV-only mode, which could significantly trim gasoline usage for drivers with short commutes and or charging facilities at their place of employment. Then again, that battery range pales in comparison to the 53-mile battery-only figure we recorded in the smaller but similarly priced 2017 Chevrolet Volt, let alone the 238-mile marathon we extracted from the batteries of the much smaller Chevy Volt F. but for individuals who reside in certain traffic-heavy urban areas and are still wary of making the leap to a full up such as the bold, that charging port in the Optima's fender may ultimately reap benefits that far outreach any financial arguments or environmental altruism, real or perceived. After all, it grants them legal access to pub lanes so they can leave behind much of the rush hour gridlock.